How are we today? Warm and toasty. Warm and toasty. Toasty and warm. So in the morning when I get up and I'm getting ready, if my husband has something pressing that he needs to do, he also gets up. Today he's out of town working, so he's getting ready. And so the first thing that he does when he gets up in the morning is he watches a couple of different YouTube channels that talk about crypto mining. Awesome. Fantastic. How about it? And it's not like a news report on crystal mining, mining some math, on crypto mining. It is more of a like opinion. This is why things gonna happen. Here's what's going on. Yada yada yada. And this morning, the guy was like going off on like, it's gonna fail and the world is gonna end, and here's why I don't do it anymore. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, why are you watching this shit? Like now you're just looking for drama. You're looking for drama, trying to get your panties in a knot. You're looking for drama. My husband likes drama. Sometimes he's a woman in that respect. I said it. And anyway, the guy said something though that was truth. Truth was spoken today. Not my truth, not your truth. I fucking hate that. You don't have a truth. There is truth. Your truth is your opinion that you believe, and you won't be talked out of it. So if you're in a bad relationship with a wife beater, but your truth is that he's a really good person and he loves you, he's just going through a lot right now, you're making excuses for the shit that you're in. That's the truth. I've lived my truth before. It ain't a good idea. But this man today, he spoke the truth. The truth. He said, we'll see what happens. Every time I make a prediction, I'm either right or I'm wrong. I would like for that to be my new mantra. Every time I make a prediction, I'm either right or I'm wrong. That's what it is. I'm just looking up today's messages in the voice so that I can read them all. I don't know what this one's talking about. I'm not familiar with the book of Jeremiah. Let's do a little recon. We got 3 minutes. Here's an opinion, not my truth. Ever met somebody with a strong biblical name that isn't, a little bit of a shit? And you can't have Matthew and John as examples because, like, I think those are just common names. You ever met a Luke that, like, really had it together? I know one. I totally do know one. Absolutely, I know one. You ever met a Jeremiah? A Titus? Like, strong biblical names. I don't know what that's about. That's why there's so many people named Paul. If you have a strong biblical name and you think you're a good person, good for you. I'm just saying. Okay, let me see what's going on here. Because today we're reading out of Jeremiah. Jeremiah. Let's see what we got. On this one, oh my God, I don't need ads. Oh, straight through it. Oh, this is what I do when I see the verse, and like I read the verse and then I'm not really sure like what's going on in there. I just go ahead and read some commentary on it so that I can kind of see what's going on. Oh my goodness. Okay, I can't watch this channel. Holy moly, this. Too much. commercials everywhere, little tiny bit of text and just commercials everywhere on it. Too much. Okay, so I guess we're just going to have to go with Matthew Henry. Matthew Henry has the concise book of the Bible, and it's as big as the Bible. I think it's actually bigger than my Bible. Here's the enduring word. What do you have to say? 7 through 11. I'm scrolling. Oh, it's time. It's time. It's time. All right. I didn't learn anything. We'll just read this, and then we'll do we'll read the devotional, and then we'll figure out what's going on. Good morning. Welcome. Hello. My name is Decker, and I do a daily devotional. And when I have done a daily devotional and I've been consistent with it, I really enjoyed it. And I feel like my days, they're just better. Like even my shit days seem to be better. Like I care less about the shit that happens. I'm able to like get that positive attitude that in this life I have become known for, right? I'm able to keep myself moving forward and thinking of the good, not the bad, stuff like that. And those are all, great things. And when I don't do it, I feel like kind of shitty days. I let the shitty parts get to me. And I don't want that, right? I don't want the shitty parts to get to me. Nobody wants the shitty parts to get to them. And I always want the good things. And when I do start out with a devotional, I have that, but I'm not super consistent with it. Why? Because you got to get up early. Because you got to make a sacrifice of the nice warm bed, especially on a day like today where it's super, super cold. And you start wondering, okay, well, if it's this cold right here, why do I want to get up out of my bed, take off my warm clothes, and go sit in a cold room and read the Bible? And I don't always have an answer for that. I do know when I do it, I feel better. So I thought, well, I'll do it and I'll do it live. And then like, that'll be like, that will like inspire me to keep going. I don't know that that's really true. But then I was like, well, maybe somebody will watch. And a couple people do. And a couple people went and got the book that we're doing. And if you didn't get the book, that's okay. I'm going to read it to you. And it's like, well, okay. Let's check it out. Let's do it. So I do feel really better. I think we're on the 4th week straight. I got my honey tea this morning. And I love devotionals. When I first started doing them, I didn't know what to do and I didn't know how to do it. And I didn't know like which one should I be doing. And like, it's very Bible-y. I don't really think I want to be that Bible-y. And all of those things are true. And I thought, well, if you don't do one, you're never going to, if you don't start, you're never going to get there, right? If you don't walk, you're not going to run, right? If you don't get off the couch, you're not going to get to the store, right? You got to take that first step. So I thought, well, if I do it and then I just kind of like be open and free about it, maybe it will expose somebody to a more quote normal person who's Christian, and they'll be like, oh, if she can be a Christian, maybe I can do it. Let's check it out and see what it's about. So here I am, 4 weeks in, reading online. It's exciting to read because I am dyslexic. I didn't go to the same school until high school. Like I went to at least 2 schools a year, with one exception. I went to at least 2 schools a year, from kindergarten all the way up through middle school. At least 1 school a year. You changing schools 2 and 3 times a year, they're just passing you along. So any reading issues that I might have been able to overcome. So it's fun to read online. It's so dry. I don't know if you can see. I put so much stuff on my lips. I don't have any in here. Oh, I do have stuff in here. It's so dry. My lip cracked. It's cold where I am, so I know it's cold where you are, unless you're in Florida. And then probably even by Florida standards, it's cold, right? Like your negative 72 doesn't make me feel warmer, right? Because we're all where we are in the warm world. We're all used to the weather we're used to. So your negative 410 doesn't make me feel warmer, nor does it make me appreciate the warmth that I have. We're all fucking cold. Everybody. We're all cold. And I was wondering this morning, how do the mosquitoes survive? How do the mosquitoes survive? Nothing to do with Jesus. I'm just curious. How? Bringing our plants in. Some people are leaving up their little garages with the blankets and towels so the stray animals can come and live in their garage. People are like okay with the coons in the attic because, they're little babies, how cool, they got little claws, they got to eat them, they're so cold. Everybody cares. But the mosquitoes, motherfuckers don't die. Don't die. All right, here we go. Let's get into the word on that happy note. Let's get into the word. So today we are on day 5. We're reading Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 23-24. Okay, so let's read the NIV and then we'll shoot into the message. The NIV version, which is probably the Bible you have at your house, if you have a Bible at your house. This is what the Lord said. Let not the wise boast of their wisdom, or the strong boast of their strength, or the rich boast of their riches, but let the one who boasts boast about this, that they have understanding to know me, that I am the Lord who exercises kindness, justice, and righteousness on earth. For in these I delight, declares the Lord. I feel like Jeremiah is Old Testament. Now let's read it in the message. So what's the difference? Okay, the difference is that the message is more like a synopsis, and it's more like this is what it's saying. This is what God's saying here. This is what the Bible is saying here. It's like a little bit easier to understand. Although, honestly, don't talk shit about the stuff that you have. Don't talk great shit about the stuff you have. Just talk awesome shit about me. So here's what the message has to say. God's message. Don't let the wise brag of their wisdom. Don't let heroes brag of their exploits. Don't let the rich brag of their riches. If you brag of this and this only, that you understand and you know me. I'm God, and I act in loyal love. I do what is right, and I set things right and fair, and delight in those who do the same things. These are my trademarks. God's decree. Okay. It seems pretty cut and dry. I don't have any context on this. When I go and I read what Matthew Henry has to say, he says, in this world of sin and sorrow, ending soon in death and judgment, how foolish for people to glory in their knowledge, their health, their strength, their riches, or anything that leaves them under the dominion of sin and the wrath of God, and of which an account must hereafter be rendered. It will but increase their misery. Those are our true Israel and worship. That's how we know it's Old Testament. Those are the true Israel. Those are the true Israel. That doesn't make sense to me, but we're going with it. Who worship God in spirit, rejoice in Jesus Christ, and have no confidence in the flesh. Let us prize the distinction which comes from God and will last forever. Let us seek diligently. Maybe it's not Old Testament. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There's this thing where everybody has I don't want to say everybody, but there's levels of addiction. Okay, when we think of addiction, we think of drugs and alcohol. Okay, we think of drugs and alcohol when we think of addiction. The bad things. Sex. We think of the bad things we're addicted to. There are people that are addicted to the gym. They go over the top to the gym, measuring out every ounce of food they put in their body, recording bowel movements, some serious stuff happening. Any addiction can definitely go too far, right? But we all laugh about our addictions. I'm addicted to the chocolates. I'm addicted to my rock stars. I'm addicted to this. I'm addicted to that, right? But when we think of addiction, we always think of a negative kind of a drugs and alcohol, that kind of a thing. But I think that, the things that you do all the time, that you always, those habits that you have, that when you break that habit, you're like, well, that was weird, And I think that oftentimes I do get addicted to positive attention. Some people get addicted to negative attention. had that too for a long time, because attention is attention. We kind of want it, right? We kind of want attention. If all you ever do is yell at a little kid that does bad things, they're getting that attention. They're going to keep doing the bad things. You're paying attention to them. This is some kind of psychology course I took somewhere in the 1900s. Probably not true anymore. But attention is attention, and we want attention, and we want to make sure that we look good. And, we take pictures and we put them on social media, or maybe we don't take pictures and put them on social media because we're so self-conscious about the way that we look. But when we get really good things, we like to brag about them. On numerous occasions, I've had women tell me, I can't even be on Instagram because, and I'm making fun of the way people talk, I know. I can't even be on Instagram because I see all these people posting all their perfect little lives on Instagram, and I know the truth. Bitch, you causing drama. That's how I look at that. But I post really good things, right? You post the good shit on your social medias. You call up your friends with good news. Everybody's happy. And that's what we want. We want to brag about our good things. But we also like to brag about our riches and the things that we just did that turned out really, really well for us. And we brag about those things. But then we all know those people. And I don't mean famous people. Somebody who just brags about this shit they have. And you're like, this motherfucker's coming over again. I want to talk to them. I think that what this is saying is, don't be braggy like that. If you got a bunch of money, have a bunch of money and don't care. There's this TikTok guy I follow, and he breaks down the rich and the really rich. That's how he breaks them down. And the rich is always like an asshole that like drives something, has to tell you what he drives. He's Blaine. And then like the really rich is the guy that, owns all the companies that this other guy hustles for. And he's just like really nice. He's just like a really nice person. Let's see what the devotional says. Let's see what the pros have to say. All right. Don't brag about your shit. Know me. Brag about me that I love loyally, and then I like give out justice and righteousness. Okay. Like us, the ancient people of God. Oh, no, it was Old Testament. I want like a high five on that. That's me reading the scripture and doing exactly the opposite of what it just said. God, I got a lot of improvements to make. Well, I'm going to go now. Like us, the ancient people of God got confused about where to find meaning, significance, and satisfaction in life. It took a bold prophet, Jeremiah, to remind them that life is rooted in something much deeper than smarts, power, or wealth. All of those things can be lost. True identity and security are found in being a person who knows the Lord. Stop thinking you are merely a composite of your job title, GPA, professional resume, awards, looks, net worth, and so on. Instead, see yourself through the lens of your relationship with God. That kind of goes back, if you've been with us the whole time, that second day, we asked, who am I? Who the fuck am I? I don't know, bitches, why I'm here. And it was like, if we say like, so who are you? And you would be like, oh, I'm a mom. I'm a mom. I'm a daughter. I'm a son. I'm a husband. I'm a wife. I'm an employee. I'm a small business owner. I'm a homeowner. I'm a Tesla person. I like Starbucks. Like you would like that. And those are the things that you do versus like the who are you? Like who's in here? So why are you a wife? Well, I married some asshole and now I'm his wife. That's a great fucking attitude. And we need to start there. We got to like unpack that shit. Okay. But like, I'm a wife because I wanted a husband. I wanted somebody that supported me and loved me and that thought like, oh, this bitch is crazy, but I like her version of crazy. And I want to make sure that my husband knows that I love him. So I do things that I think will please him so that we have a good relationship, right? So we're kind of jumping over to that, and we're taking that with this case of mistaken identity, which is the title of our thing, a case of mistaken identity. And we are saying that we think of ourselves of like our job title. It's a big thing these days to have like fancy fucking titles. There's no perks, right? There's no perks to it. I've worked in a gym, and I have been a gym manager. I've been an aerobics coordinator because I've been doing it for a long time. I've been called manager, coordinator, oh my God, assistant, director. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. I've had all of those things. I was also called an aerobics instructor. You would never call somebody an aerobics instructor because that would be insulting. Because I'm a fitness instructor. Bitch. Right? People are so fucking caught up in the names of it. For years, people asked me what I did for a living. I told them I counted backwards from 8 with great enthusiasm. I teach aerobics. I don't care. I don't care. Now I can tell you that there were big gyms. They still exist today. I never had to work at an LA Fitness or a Lifetime. That's true. I never worked at those, but I did work at a Bally's. It's now defunct. And we'd have these huge rooms, and there would be 100 plus people in a room, and they would give us a boom box and tell us just go teach. Like it's just aerobics. Because the people that at the front that sold all the personal training and sold all the memberships didn't value aerobics because it didn't pay them because they were the salespeople, and they got paid on how many memberships they sold and how many upgrades they made. And aerobics was just something that was just like a side note. It's whatever. It's just some bullshit that people do in there. That's all it was. Now people turned that into sexism because at that time, most straight, you had a couple of gay men, but most men, they were trainers and they were salespeople. They weren't exercise instructors. It has nothing to do with sexism. It has to do with women like large groups of people most of the time versus kind of that one-on-one thing. I digress. Anyway, people get their panties in a knot because they don't value who we are. Like we're just aerobics instructors. We're more than that. No, honestly. And we are improving health for people, absolutely. But like literally, I come backwards from 8 with a lot of enthusiasm. Now, there's a lot more to it. I got a whole stack of papers somewhere that say how qualified I am to count backwards from 8 in a variety of different manners. And I'm really, really good at it. But I don't care what you call me because it doesn't fucking matter. But I care about lots of other things. And titles matter to people. I don't know why. I don't know. There are companies out there that will have 5 different titles, same pay grade. 5 different titles, same pay grade. And the titles always sound super amazing, but they don't use words anymore, traditional words like managers and assistant managers and all junior managers. Those words are gone because those words have been used since the 60s and they have strong definitions behind them. And so now they have these other words that come in that are just synonyms for them. And fun little things that make you feel like you're more important because of your title. Give you a title and get you more money. You got a lot more responsibility, but no more money. And people eat that shit up. Well, I'm this. I'm this. Do you know you make the same money as that person over there mopping the floor? So you might as well be just like the head custodian. You're so proud of your title, but it's not doing you anything else. Nothing wrong with being a custodian. I clean my own toilets. Okay, so we get caught up in our job title. We get caught up in our GPA, right? Oh my God, y'all, my GPA, I graduated at summer school. In high school, I graduated in summer school. They let me walk. That's why I got to walk. That's what they said. I didn't actually get my diploma. In college, I tried to go to college right out of high school. It wasn't for me. I didn't go to college until I was like in my 30s with 5 fucking kids. And honestly, useless piece of paper. So I'm not super smart. I don't have this like amazing GPA. And so sometimes I do still like look at myself as like, because I don't have this piece of paper. My professional resume. Oh my God, you ever look for a job? And then you got to like write a resume and you got to like take the shit that you've been doing and you got to like make it sound better. And you have to take all the stuff that you did over here. Let me tell you what, I'm moving out of fitness and I'm trying to move into that more like Christian world. I need somebody to write my resume and take all the shit I did because I need somebody that can make I count backwards from 8 with a lot of enthusiasm look like I can help women who need help finding Jesus. On a resume, I don't know how to make that happen. Awards. I did tell you yesterday I had best attitude, so I'm really proud of that one. Your looks. Oh, y'all. I got curlers. Love to color my hair. I think it's so much fun to have colored hair. I'm not like Kardashian looks, but I still care about my looks. I'm wearing a fucking unicorn hat. It has a unicorn on it right here. Look, check it out. Check it out. I got a unicorn. Somebody bought it for me. They said, "Oh, that's Decker. I love this. This is better than the person who thought I was going to climb across this bleachers to whoop somebody's ass." This is awesome. I love this. It's fantastic. And if you know me, you're like, "That's you." I got socks that say I'm a fucking unicorn. I think the same person got them for me. I got socks that say, "Yay, puppies." Like I have the way that I look. I put some time into it. If you don't put time into it, that's still putting time into it. We care about our looks, our net worth. I don't even own a net, so it's not worth anything. So on and so on. Okay, so we wrap ourselves up in that instead of seeing ourselves through our relationship with God. That speaks so much to me, guys. If I say my value is in my finances, my value is in my finances. If I'm struggling to pay my bills, but I don't want to move out of the neighborhood that I live in, I don't want to live within my means, and I'm constantly living without my means, and I'm having to hustle all the time, robbing Peter to pay Paul. If it's not me, it's my spouse. He's the one that always spends all the money. If that's the bullshit that you're saying, whatever it is, when it's that money part of it, and we are just constantly concerned about everything financially, and we're constantly concerned about looking like we're the wealthiest in our friend group, or being embarrassed because we're not the wealthiest in our friend group. If that's where your obsession is, if you're just obsessed with making sure that you have a really nice vehicle so that people know that you have a nice vehicle when you're coming down the street, if you're obsessed with making sure that you have maybe it's some name brand stuff, right? I don't make coffee at home. I get coffee at Starbucks. Like, I just don't have time to make coffee at home. Like, if that's your attitude, you care more about that outwardly appearance than you do about the shit that really matters, which is your relationship with God. Now, should you do the things that make you feel good about yourself? I say yes, because I'm human and self-centered. But we focus so much on what does everybody think about me versus what does God think about me? And I think that's what it's saying here. And there are plenty of things that we have that we don't have. I don't care if you're super poor. I don't even have any money. I don't know what she's talking about. Bitch, if you are watching this, you are wealthier than, I think, was it 75% of most of the world? You got a roof over your head, you're doing better than most people. Maybe not most people in the US where you live. And that's always the argument. Well, I live here. Well, then move. Go move somewhere else. I've told more than one client before, I've told people I love that aren't clients, people who complain about how terrible other parts of the country are, and how it is ridiculous that I don't know who they is, other people, the government, the rich, how they should be over there helping. And I always ask every time, so what do you do? Well, I don't have any money to help. You have money to help. We're fucking eating dinner right now while you bitch about how whoever they are, need to go help the other people. Your $20 meal that you just ate, you could have had a peanut butter sandwich at your house, and you could have shipped your $20 to somebody. Hell, you could have just drove down the street and given it to a homeless person. People don't like that shit. Do not fucking come at me about how other people need to be doing stuff. Do I do lots of other stuff? But I don't walk around talking, you need to do it because you make more than I do. You made $500,000 last year. Do you live on 50 and give away 450? Or do you take trips to Costa Rica and to Europe? Do you drive really nice vehicles and have really nice cars and work really, really hard. And I'm just so grateful for these things because, like we've just really been working hard and I feel so grateful for it. If that's who you are, and then you turn around and you tell me how the other people need to be giving away all their money to help the poor, I'm going to tell you, why don't you give away all your shit and help the poor? Why don't you go sell your home? Sell your home. That's what I tell people. That's why I don't have friends. Sell your $500,000 home, whatever city you live in. Sell your $300,000 home. Sell your $100,000 home, and go live in the poor neighborhood in your house, in your city. But the schools, homeschool. I had a conversation one time with an organization that provides maternity homes and things like that for women, and we were talking, and they have a really hard time getting people to live in their homes. And I said, well, what do y'all pay them? Oh, that we can't disclose that. I said, so you don't pay them anything? Because if you did disclose it, we pay them anywhere from 100 to 150 a year. Oh, well, I mean, the house is part of the payment. And I said, okay. So I asked the director, I said, do you live out here in this neighborhood? Oh, no, I live in the very nice neighborhood of Houston, like the nice Memorial neighborhood of Houston. And I was like, okay, cool. But you want other people to leave their nice neighborhoods, Memorial, to go live in this very sketchy neighborhood for $30,000 a year plus. Well, you do have the home. So like, are they selling their house? Like, it's a 2-year commitment that you want them to have. So like in 2 years, they've banked, $10,000 from this gig. And like the look, anyway, I don't volunteer with them anymore. The look on their face, like, how dare you? But that's the truth. That's the truth. We're so busy to brag about what we have, but we don't want to brag about who we know. And we don't throw it up there. There's a soccer player, and he has a cracked phone, and he's walking to like, he's like super famous on follow soccer. He's such an amazing soccer player that where he's from, it's called football. Okay. And so he's this amazing player, and they were making fun of him for having this cracked cell phone because he's multimillionaire and all this kind of stuff. And he said, I don't care. He says, I played soccer wherever he was from, little dirt town, on another continent that he's from. And he says, and nobody even has shoes. And we played it with like, they would just roll up a trash essentially into a ball. And he was like, I make sure that every kid in that area has shoes, has clothes, and has school because they have to pay for their school books and stuff like that. That's what I do with my money. I make sure that people have food to eat. That's what I do. I don't need a phone. I live an amazing life, and I have amazing things. Whew! I don't know that I want to be that person. I kind of want it, but I don't want it. That's not why we're here today, to make us feel bad about our shit. So what we're supposed to do today is we're supposed to make a list of blessings that God has given me that are yours eternally. So if you think about anything that you might possibly know. So if you're a new Christer, right? If you're a Christer, you go to church on Christmas and Easter. If you're Christ curious, if you're an anti-Christian, I don't know what God ever gave me, and you just have a list of negative shit, write your list of negative shit down. And here's why. Because if you keep going on this journey, and you're going to look back in 5 years, 10 years, 6 months, whatever, you're going to look back and you're going to find it, right? And it's going to be written down. This is so yesterday's, but I can't cover it. But you're going to have it written. Let me get a clean page. It's going to be written down in your little journal, right? You're going to have it written down in your journal that, I don't have anything that's eternally mine. This is the stupidest thing ever. I've been there. Write it down, because later on you can go back and you can see how far you've come. Or write it down to prove me wrong. I'll show that bitch I wasn't wrong. Whatever. But write it down. Like, if you're really struggling to think of the things that are eternally yours, because you just don't know what is eternally yours. Have the day you want to have, right? People say karma's a bitch. Karma's going to get you. No, it's not karma. It isn't karma. Maybe you lay your bed and you made your bed and you're laying in it. right? Maybe you've made some poor decisions and now you're having to kind of suffer those consequences. You make good decisions, you have good consequences. You make bad decisions, you have bad consequences. That's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward, cut and dry. But if you don't know what's eternally waiting for you, if you don't know everything that the goodness of God is going to give you once you kick the bucket, if you're still just struggling in that realm, just put, I don't really know what's going to be on the other side. I don't know. Like, are we talking about heaven? Is that what we're talking about? Eternal is heaven? Sure. Is eternal just somebody that absolutely 100% loves you no matter what? Maybe gets frustrated with you. Sometimes it's going to be like, oh, this bitch. But loves you regardless. Eternally. Like forever. There's zero things you could have done that you've already done and that you might do. Zero things that God will not forgive you for. Zero. Like, think about that. Like, don't think about it though in this weird way, like, well, I can go do what the fuck I want because God will forgive me. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying those things that you really feel bad for, you can be forgiven for them. You got to want to be forgiven. You have to know your value in God's eyes and your relationship with him in order to accept that God and another human could love you for all your fucked upness. It's crazy freeing. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. Let me get the little prayer done here. This is the prayer that comes from the book, not the prayer that comes from my mouth. God, I am not my success. Let me enjoy, but not glory in such things. I'm also not my failures. Please keep me from despair. Grant that I might root my identity in you. Amen. And if you wanted to go a little bit further, 2 Corinthians, Paul talks about the proper limits of boasting. Don't be proud of your shit. Use your shit for good. Use your looks for good. And brag about tiny baby Jesus. Or, not sure about tiny baby Jesus, quit talking great shit about yourself. And let's do a little bit more time with Jesus. How you feeling? What are your eternal gifts? Have a great day. It's Friday. It's Friday. And don't forget, the most important thing I learned this morning came from the crypto guy who's mad at the world. And he said, and I can use it here too, every single time, I'm either right or I'm wrong. Every time. You guys have a fantastic day. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.